Excited?
Oh my god.
Are you excited?
I am. Yeah.
Yay.
What's mine? I want more money, more power. Goddamn nigga, it's about that time. I'm back on my bullshit. I'm back on my bullshit. I said I'm back on my bullshit. I'm back on my bullshit.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Miss Reid.
And Dev.
And you have tripped and fallen your ass into the comment section.
Welcome.
It's rough here. Good luck.
It feels good though.
We had a little hiatus.
We did.
But we're back. And it's not a game.
Stronger than ever.
Okay? It is not a game.
That thing called life.
It comes at you fast. It comes at you at a swift pace. But look, let's just jump right in. Trending, number one.
We thought we were going to be done. Remember, you were like, okay, summer's over.
Really
we're into, what is it, fall?
I wanted that to be
And so what happened is we just went from summer beefs to fall beefs.
Which is not even a thing.
I just made it a thing.
Not
it has to be a thing because these beefs are still going on. So let's just go to Cardi and Nicki, Fashion Week.
Lord.
Cardi threw a shoe.
Oh, that's what happened?
It didn't hit her, and then Nicki's bodyguard, I think, clocked her a little, and she had that little knot. She was proud of her little knot on her head.
I see.
But yeah, I mean, look, I think the beef is real, but I think the fans, it's just 50-50. People just, whoever's really feeling Cardi right now is going with Cardi, and whoever really feels Nicki right now is going with Nicki.
Whoever got the hardest shit for me to listen to at any given moment is who I like.
Well, and you know what I did? I looked into, where did this come from? The origin. And it just stems from freaking innuendos and raps. And then each of them, goes back on record and is like, I wasn't talking about her, everything's cool. So they've been doing this for a while now.
There's never been space in hip hop for two female rappers at the same time. I know. That's just old.
You're right.
Old stuff from
Someone's got to
the
get
beginning
out.
of hip hop. There can only be one woman at a time.
Well, the thing is, Cardi's got to be kind of careful because Nicki's kind of established and she's still going to get invited to all the parties and you may not. People are seriously she didn't get invited to Rihanna's Diamond Ball. Cardi, Nicki did. People aren't going to invite them in the same spaces because they're no, we're not doing that. We're not going there. And so it's just kind of ooh, but Rihanna did not invite Cardi B.
I didn't think about that.
So you got to be careful. But yeah, I mean the comments are just classic beef ones, and I think half and half of people
it's whoever
either
you stand for at the moment. I don't give a shit either way.
I know. I like both. I hope they make up. And they have a song together.
I mean, not one, but you don't need
you're
to see
not
a
even
person
together.
even be on a song together. Look, any Cardi B, Nicki Minaj song is getting listened to in this household.
Right.
That's what I know.
Right. The beefs never stop the music.
I would love to hear both their voices simultaneously. That shit, I like it. It makes me have to not go to so many different places. I want them to make up and do an album together. So then all my music is in one place.
Let me just tell you, because I think what you want is actually a prediction, and I'm predicting it now that's going to happen.
I mean, that's always what they do, Nas and Jay-Z.
Right.
And then they come back together and they make songs together, and it's a whole big deal.
Exactly.
What the fuck ever. I can't. Eminem is beefing with everybody on the planet. But more specifically, I was privy to him with MGK. I know he came for Joe Budden on the song, but is there any beef there?
Well, it's just the classic what happened when Joe was signed to his label and that whole thing, and there's just still bad blood, and it's just really obvious that they never even talked about it. They just went their separate ways and had different views on what happened. And
I didn't even think about it. I thought it was just Slaughterhouse wasn't hitting no more, so what was the purpose?
Right, and that's not really what Joe is saying. And I watched both interviews. I mean, I watched Eminem's video and listened to Joe Budden's podcast about this. And the thing is, they actually say kind of the same things in different ways. So certain things aren't a lie. Eminem signed them, and then he didn't do anything with them. He just didn't. And then what he did try to do was make them sound like him, and that didn't hit. And you could tell that he says that he's not invested. So I just think it's personal to them in different ways. But yeah, no, they beefed. I think what happened was Joe Budden just responded to Eminem, and then Eminem came out with 400 parts of his thing. So he just came back at it. You know what I mean? They're not really beefing. They both are grown ass men with children. So
I know he ate MGK up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah,
which was stupid for him to even come in like that. Like, why? Who goes after Eminem? Well, nobody ever goes after Eminem. There's a reason why.
I was gonna say, was it MGK that talked about his daughter? Was that the issue? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't talk about Eminem's daughter.
No, that was stupid.
Yeah.
And MGK, he's like, I'm not going to retaliate. Like, he can't. Like, he's lost.
He's gonna stay seated for a while.
Defeat.
I mean, people are begging for Joe to kind of come back, but Joe's like, I'm not doing that. Like, he's not. But it would be kind of funny.
I like Slaughterhouse, though.
That's what everyone did. Not like that, but everyone did. And that's what, you know, who knows what would have happened if they kind of had more support or, you know, a different outcome of who they signed with.
I mean, I just feel like lyrical rappers ain't really making money. If you're not Kendrick or J. Cole, or the new person I'm listening to, who I'll get to.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I feel like lyrical rap ain't popular anymore.
It's different, yeah.
Anyway, Cat Williams is a hater.
Cat Williams and Tiffany Haddish. Yikes. But he came back and apologized. You saw that, right? He got on one knee. Did you see it?
No, where?
Yes, at an event. I'm not lying.
Oh. Well, I know she spoke to him like when he first made the comments, and then, you know, they had a conversation, and as far as I was told from Red Grant, everything was fine after that. But then I don't know if maybe Tiffany had more time to think on it, like, wait. But Tiffany wasn't really on it. Kevin Hart was the dog with the bone in this, I felt like.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's like, who was it? Was it Chris Epps that talked about somebody who was a little bit more popular than him? You got to have kind of like some context behind what they're saying.
Did you just say Chris Epps?
Oh, I did say Chris Epps. Thank you for correcting me. Who the hell is Chris Epps? Mike Epps. He talked about somebody I forgot. Kevin Hart, I think, actually.
Yeah, everybody's always talking about
look,
Kevin Hart.
The thing is, these people like Cat Williams, and let's even throw in Tanisha Arnold from Martin. They didn't get Tashina. And it keeps on coming.
All good.
They didn't get the credit at their height. They never got like what was really owed to them.
I agree.
And you know, Miss Arnold is very classy, and she doesn't seem to have bitterness or put that out to the world.
Right.
And so that's what it always is going to come out like, is bitterness and hating. But if you had some context to what he said, he wasn't really talking about Tiffany.
He wasn't talking about Tiffany, but it just seemed like a cheap shot to make.
It was using her like at her expense, and that's
right.
Not cool.
But all of the people he brought up, Rel and Jared Carmichael and Annabelle Burris, and them being ugly, all this other stuff, like it just.
Oh, I didn't see the whole interview.
Like what he was saying overall, sure, made absolute sense about how Hollywood just picks people who. They are the guy, and that's all they want to do is use that guy, and they usually it's one black comic at a time.
Exactly.
That is absolutely correct and right.
Right.
However, like Kevin Hart says when he was having Tiffany Haddish's back, you were the guy.
Right. You've had the moment.
He had his moment. Cat Williams should be Kevin Hart right now, still, or tapering off.
Right. But you just don't do that.
You fucked that up.
Right.
So don't come back now and then all those stats were fucking fraudulent.
Right.
So you're a liar. And now you're just a hater. You're shitting on all these other people in your craft.
Right.
Like, why? Especially when it was like, you could have been talking about the Emmy you won. You didn't have to be talking about nobody else.
Right.
I'm fresh off of Emmy one. This is the Cat Williams show. Hello, I'm Cat Williams. Let me tell you all about Cat Williams.
Right.
But instead, what comes out of your mouth is Tiffany Haddish, Harold Burris, Jared Carmichael. Damn, nigga. You talking about a lot of people other than yourself.
Right. And you're hating, and you're bitter, and you're telling us something we already know. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think in 2018, no one thinks the only talented people are the really very popular people in Hollywood. Right. I think everyone knows that some of the best musicians and artists are not known at all,
of course,
and will go undiscovered. Mm-hmm. My father being one of them. Hey, drummer. So whenever you try to do that, it lessens yourself, and that's all it did to him. So I thought Tiffany dealt with it pretty well. But yes, no, they were at an event, and he got like on one knee, and people filmed it or whatever. But So now you're just really stupid. So you know what I mean? You at least stand on your shit. Now you're
and then like, why bring another black comic into it too? That's the thing that kind of pissed me off too. There are plenty. Amy Schumer is not funny as hell, but that bitch has been everywhere for all this time. Like, if you want to talk about somebody, fucking talk about that, my nigga. But you gonna talk about the sis next to you,
right? Well, and why don't you not talk about it at all? Because all the people you named they didn't get picked overnight. Mm-hmm. They worked. Amy Schumer went unknown for many years. She, did stand-up comedy to many rooms that booed her. Like, she, whether you like her or not, she worked to where she worked for where she got. And that's what Tiffany did. Tiffany, people call her overnight successes, or people always look at it like that, but it's not that. So what makes you that much, right? What makes you that much better? Because Hollywood already picked you? They picked you first?
They picked you, gave you your shot, you dropped the ball. Don't be mad at nobody else.
Yeah.
You call other people ugly, and Hollywood don't want people who ugly. Jared Carmichael had a show until he didn't want it no more. Right. He canceled. He said, I'm not doing it no more.
Right.
Rail got a show. Fresh on Fox. Smiling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, Hannibal Buress. I don't.
Yeah.
You hard pressed to turn on the TV and not see Hannibal some fucking way. I don't even know what he's doing. All I know is he's there a lot.
Right. Yeah.
So they might be ugly, but guess what they're getting? Checks.
Right.
And what are you doing?
You could be making friends and getting on hating. And look, and getting on Tiffany's movies and shows. Because stop it.
Because at the end of the day, yes, you are funnier than all these people.
Well, and maybe not to some.
No, he is.
Yeah, he is really
It's pretty subjective.
If you're talking about pure stand-up, but I watched Girls Trip the other day, and I was reminded about how good she
does bring life to that role. But look, Kat was good in fucking Next Friday too, or Friday after next.
Yeah.
But like I said,
I just never will get over that he got beat up by 6th graders. I'm sorry, that video when he got beat up by 6th graders. Like, there's so many events in your life that's why you are where you are. Right. And getting beat up by 6th graders is one of them.
He should be at the top of the industry. I think he's hilarious. He's hilarious than a lot of the people on these lists that he kept bringing up. I agree with you there. Right. But A, you pointing that out is lame. Right. And B, you hampered your own success. So don't be mad at anybody else who was there just to catch them opportunities that you dropped out.
Exactly.
Because I feel like all of them put together make Cats funny. You sprinkled yourself across the fucking industry and left the goddamn earth fertile to grow. So there you have it. Them is your kids, niggas. Get over it.
Right. Done and done.
Mary J. Blige and Faith Evans did not fight. I repeat. Mary J. Blige
and Faith Evans are two classy ladies. Fight. Mary J. Blige was in Louisiana at the time of this incident.
Mama from Louisiana.
Supposedly they fought at Diddy's party, but no, we looked it up a couple times and it was completely
news.
False, fake news. News. Look, when I thought the beefs were going to thin out, they just hyped back up.
Whatever. I'm over it.
I hope that we will not be keeping this trending topic. And I don't see it. Look, the holidays are coming.
There's going to be Christmas beefs.
Those are
I'm not even worried about it.
Maybe we could talk about our own family Christmas beefs.
My Christmas is going to be interesting too. Because my mom and Kareen's family, it's my wife, are going to be together for the first time ever in like 16 years. And it's going to be a mess.
Can you have a nanny cam so we can all watch this after they leave?
I might live broadcast the whole thing.
Oh, even better.
In 360.
Look, I talk about like family beefs. I have none. My family's so small. We get along. we don't have cousins or anyone to hang out with. So it's just my brothers, my mom, my mom's boyfriend, and
that seems like a lot of people. A lot of people.
My auntie Sherry, too. So
we want to send a quick RIP out to Mac Miller. We're super late, but circumstance. So
he was only 26.
26, very young man.
Yeah. The latest that I heard was there was a party the night before, so his family really wants like a full investigation, not just like to write it off as whatever it appears to be.
It was an OD.
Right. And they kind of are not making any like suggestions that someone did anything foul, but they definitely want the police to do a full investigation into like what was happening the night before, who was at his house.
But he was a known drug addict. Like I
know,
understand the significance.
I know. The impression I got, if you just want me to speak plain language, was I want to see if there was a drug dealer there that gave him all the drugs that killed him. That's literally what I felt.
A, of course, and B, you'll never find this
or
person.
And like maybe like some of the drugs weren't like up to par, like maybe they were laced, like I don't know, like they just want them to do a full investigation, but they are doing it. And there's been some like, I don't know, I feel like police, well, if you have money, they'll probably do what you ask, but they usually don't, really investigate something unless there's at least like some possibility that it wasn't just a straight, overdose. But anyways, that's the latest I heard. Super sad. I feel like I don't even know the full Mac Miller. Like, a lot of people really, really stand by his music. Like,
full Mac Miller? I don't know any Mac Miller.
Like, and I didn't know he had been around for so long and that he was really, I think, an artist first before whatever. But I just mean, like, all his fans are from different, like, genres of music and ages and, like, speak like, no, like, we really liked his music. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I'm going to listen to a little bit more of what he's done because I don't think I know too much. So.
I don't know either, but I certainly don't want to try to discover him and fall in love. So,
I just want to hear a few of the things, just a few of the things. But
all right,
very sad. Oh goodness gracious!
Trending number 3. This is yours. I don't give a shit. When I'm done, I'm done.
Well, look.
When I'm done, I'm done.
Kanye West. He never ceases to amaze me. So after all of that, right? Everything that happened in his last album that completely flopped. I'm not even lying. Joe Budden's podcast called it out. They said, before he's even done it, he was like, he's going to go back to Chicago and he's going to try to like rebrand himself, reconnect himself to the streets and blah, blah, blah. And like clockwork, he's moving back to Chicago and standing in front of Harold's Chicken and doorways with Childish Gambino not Childish Gambino. That's
Donald Glover.
Chance. I'm sorry, excuse me, Chance, the rapper. But I don't believe any of his shit. And like, this is how I feel like. Do that and don't make money for a few years. Don't drop albums. Go to Chicago, fucking help rebuild some shit, right? Do some shit, but not to make fucking music and make more money.
Right. Then
I would believe that you really are, quote unquote, out of the sunken place. But you're rebranding yourself. You're dropping 3 more albums, and I cannot stand you. And his video, did you see his video?
Which one? That new one with Bad Boy?
No, that he talked to Nick Cannon, Tyson Beckford, and...
Oh, I didn't watch it because I felt like it was going to be...
Oh, you need to watch that shit because
dumb.
You are... Yeah, it was dumb. But Nick Cannon totally responded and was like, nigga, you ain't gonna say what I can say or not. I'm gonna speak my motherfucking truth.
Right.
But he was really just like, don't talk about my wife. And it's like, bitch, not like that. Sorry, but your wife has slept with a lot of people. So don't be mad when those people fucking tell the truth. Nick Cannon dated Kim. He's allowed to say whatever the fuck he wants.
Slander. This is
you
history.
Are crazy. Get over yourself. So anyways, yeah. Kanye is...
I'll watch it eventually.
And he said he's out of the sunken place. Again. He said that now for the 3rd time. Oh, I'm out of the sunken place. And I'm like... Do not use Jordan Peele's genius to further your fucking career.
You can't declare yourself out of the sunken place.
Right!
We put you there, and only we can take you out.
And we don't want you, so stay fucking there.
You're still there. Trust and believe.
My God. So anyways.
Trust and believe.
Yeah. So I'm not looking forward to his 5 albums that are coming out.
Man, look. Moving right on to trend number 4.
On a more sad note. God. I just wanted to kind of,
all right, so Botham Jean, this poor Haitian black man who was shot in his own home, minding all of his whole own business.
Right.
And a Dallas cop, female, Amber Geiger, kicks in the door and
shoots him
and takes his life. So she was charged with manslaughter, but she's out on bail. Is that correct?
Yes.
And now she's been fired. She's lost her job. This woman should be charged with murder
right away.
First and foremost.
And she should be in a jail.
They did this
waiting trial.
No, a search warrant on Botham's place.
And found some fucking weed.
It wasn't even weed. They found like weed. What's that stuff? The residual, like the leftover
resin.
Right, whatever the fuck they call it. They found that. But yet, her place still hasn't been searched.
Right.
She's the murderer. She's the one on trial.
Right.
But you searching the victim's house?
Of course. And of course they found weed.
Yep.
You know.
And then Sean King, who is a social justice warrior, has been tracking the case and saying how prosecutors and the DA didn't have these eyewitness accounts of them hearing her saying, open up the door, open up the door.
Right.
And which is in their report is not. It's just she was at the wrong place, opened up the door, thought she saw an intruder, and shot her gun. But her accounts have been different.
Right.
She's been giving different accounts. But all this being said, to search his place and not hers
is completely evident of what people were trying to do.
It's just despicable. It's just
Yeah.
despicable.
Yeah.
This is like the worst justice system in all of the world. It has to be.
It is.
It has to be.
And thank God, not like that weed doesn't have that effect anymore. Like, we're not in the era where it's like, and we found weed. Like, again, most states, weed is legal. And if not, they're begging for it to be legal. Mm-hmm. And now you've got, business people walking right in weed shops and stuff like that. So when that news story came out, I felt like everyone was kind of like, okay. Like, thank God, like, it doesn't even have that impact. But they were, are you still living in the 50s where it's like, he had weed?
It's like,
that didn't do anything.
Unified I've seen a comment section in such a long time. And I think this is a wake-up call to even white people that the police have way too much overreach. Like, this is the example that we have been trying to give you. And then we've been saying these things over and over and over again as they happen. So now, when this inevitable report about the weed in his place are found, now even white people are just like, who cares?
Right, thank God. Right, that's where I'm like, that doesn't work anymore. He could be having
a whole pot farm. You still were in his house
and shot him. Right.
So this is a very bipartisan issue. Conservative and liberal, black, white, no matter where you fall on your political, socioeconomic scale, everybody is unified that this is the worst. Because I was really expecting the same usual troll bullshit. What was he doing? Maybe she knew something was going on in the apartment. Blaming the victim as they usually do.
Right.
No. Every single person, for the most part, is just like, put the bitch in jail.
Yeah.
It's unanimous.
And, again, I just, because the legal aspect of it, like, I feel like, why they're not, or quote unquote, why they're not charging for murder or whatever, right? Is because murder has to have intent. It has to have, somewhat of a, I'm waking up this morning and
which is why they're so conveniently leaving out the eyewitness accounts.
Well, and
of yelling,
isn't there something to the effect of someone dating someone or them knowing each other a little bit more, which then is going to give,
and then I hear it's not true,
more motive for intent, like more of a path that they can go down to try to find the intent. Because what it is if they don't think that she really, like, quote unquote wanted to do it, just say it's the worst case of, like, she just opened the door, but go with what she's saying, then manslaughter is the most you can get, right? So it's like, do your fucking job, don't check his house, check her house, and figure out why the fuck she wanted to kill him. Because she did not just open up the door and kill him. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's clearly not in the police's best interest, which is why it's not happening. And
that's why they can't chase down any other stories, because then they're going to have intent.
Finding jury selection for this is going to be the absolute worst, because there's so much misinformation already being put out there, which is probably, they do that on purpose. Like, this whole weed thing, they do it on purpose. The whole, right.
That's why I was so glad that I was
not his girlfriend. This is the cop.
Thank God he didn't have, like, cocaine in his house, because, like you're saying, even if he had fucking shrooms in his fucking house, that still doesn't give anyone. But if it was cocaine, you already know this would be a totally different subject. So thank God it was just weed, and we live in an age where
and that's just
the decriminalization of weed has occurred. You know what I mean?
They didn't find no fucking weed
right. What state was he in?
Shake. It's called Shake.
What? Oh, what state is he in? Do we know?
It's Texas. It's Texas.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's so weed's not legal. So that's why they're trying to do that like that. But
I don't believe it. You need more people.
Yep.
Trending number 5.
Did you watch the Emmys?
I didn't. I stopped watching like these shows a long time. I was trying to watch like the pre-show or whatever.
I was gonna say, did you see the opening act, the comedy?
Wasn't like showing it.
Oh.
So even when it was on, like I would Google it and it would be on, I would go to Spectrum to that channel at the time, and it wasn't there.
Huh.
So I don't know what happened about that, and then I just stopped caring. And I felt like anything of note, YouTube would have it.
Of course.
A couple minutes after.
I only watched the opening. I wanted to see like how hard.
Is that what with Michael Chi and giving out the Emmys to people from back in the day? Was that in the beginning or is that later?
Later.
Oh, okay. I saw that, which was great.
I thought that was awesome.
That was the shit.
Yeah, I watched just the opening. I thought they did a pretty good job with the jokes that they did and stuff like that. But it was funny because I'm like, they are playing it as safe as they can. And I say that by saying they had one black guy and one white guy.
Right.
So they were able to do the breadth of jokes that needed to be done, because there's no way a white guy could have hosted this year and do certain jokes, and there's no way a black guy, because then it would seem like quote unquote an angry black guy for 20, 30 minutes.
But that's their dynamic, because they do the news report.
I know. I just thought Emmys was pretty smart in getting them to do it. Right.
Frankly, I don't think either one of them are funny.
Well, that's what people said. It wasn't that
moderately funny when they're together, like the news thing they do on SNL. It has its moments, but I just don't think, like, some people are good in front of the camera, some people are better behind. Michael Chi is now the head writer at SNL. He's like the first African American one ever.
Right.
So as like a whole, like him being able to produce funny content, I believe he absolutely has that ability. But him speaking, doing stand up, making jokes, never. It's just a couple times he might get a chuckle out of me, but overall I'm going to pass.
Yeah. I didn't have any, I'll put it this way, I didn't have any moments of like out loud chuckle or moments of like,
right.
Which you like those moments when the joke is that hard.
But I feel like
they did a decent job.
What their whole shtick is, because it's SNL and it's still very mainstream.
Right. That's why I get it. I get why the Emmys chose them. Right. But I didn't. After that,
they wanted to de-controversialize, because there's always something of controversy. So, like I said, very smart move, but I don't find any of them funny together, apart, whatever. So that was whatever. I just wanted to quickly touch on, I think it was The Root had an article saying that of the 26 African Americans who were nominated for Primetime Emmys, only 3 won. And there's been a lot of think pieces in regard to that not being good enough, and us still having a long way to go in this fight for true diversity and representation in entertainment spaces. And while, yes, I totally agree with that, there is a lot of work to be done, I don't want us to, not adequately acknowledge the work that has been done and the strides that have been made. 26 African American people being nominated for Daytime Emmys at the same show is remarkable. Right. But I'm certainly not going into this from all these black people need to win no matter what. I don't care. Right. I feel like that's when we get into dangerous categories, because at the end of the day, this is still a competition, right? And I do not want the black person winning because they're the black person, right? I want them to win because motherfucker was the best, was deserving. They were the best and they deserve it. So that's why, to be happy about the number of nominations and upset about the number of wins seems almost counterproductive to the struggle. We absolutely need more diversity in every aspect of entertainment, both in front of and behind the camera. But within the last 5 years alone, we've had tremendous strides in regards to the number of African Americans both in front of and behind the camera. Right. So I just feel like we maybe need to take a moment collectively as a culture to pat ourselves on the back. Hey. Give each other a nod and a wink. Woo. And a you better go ahead. Right. And to just don't look, you know how to say don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Like, just don't forget, like, just where you've come from too quickly and try to discount that work. Yeah. Well, and even them taking the time to acknowledge prior work. Right. That's national. People are seeing that. Like, on TV, hey, we missed out on this comedian 20 years ago, and we're not going to say it's because she's black, but it was because she was black. Absolutely. And we got the pleasure of say her name because I don't want to mess it up. Tashina. I said it right. Tashina Arnold. We had the pleasure of seeing her in real life recently. Yes. And she's as funny as she's ever been, inside out. And so for her to get that acknowledgement, that's
white territory. Emmys is white people. Middle America's watching the Emmys. We're not watching the Emmys.
About Martin.
I think that's huge.
About my man from what's that Wayans Brothers show? Was it the Wayans Brothers?
Yeah.
Oh. God, what is his name? I can't remember it. The old man.
John
Witherspoon.
Witherspoon. Yes.
With him. Those two are the most that stuck out. And my girl from 227, and then the Jeffersons.
Right. I mean, for that to be said, like you said, that's strides. I mean,
memory today. It's good. Great strides. Like I said,
and I'm happy
I just
about
felt like people just being just totally negative toward it was just kind of, I don't know, just not. It wasn't cool, man.
Well, I think it's like, and you don't want to say anything to really lessen any fight for our culture, of course. But I'm going to say this gingerly, is you got to pick and choose your battles.
I agree.
And with all the battles that are going on, like, I will keep all my focus on Botham Jean or Jean.
Right. You know
versus,
what? That's true.
And so that's where it's like, you can't give that emotion about everything, because especially in a lane where we are making progress, whereas over on this lane, people are still dying. Like, right. I'm going to just give that effort to that.
And maybe that's what my issue was. Yeah. I was putting it juxtaposed in a mental position. But I don't know. It just seemed like a needless complaint. That's how I can best sum this up. It seemed like a needless complaint.
Yeah. Because let all 26 win.
Right. And then you just be like...
Or 15-20.
This has absolutely no value anymore. Right. So...
Yeah.
Anyway, Will Smith is jumping out of helicopters.
I watched it live at work.
Over the Grand
the
Canyon.
whole crew come over to my little desk.
Oh my gosh.
We had to pump it up.
I feel like this was way much bigger of a deal than I felt it should be.
This is what I feel. It's Will motherfucking Smith.
What does that mean anymore?
He is a beacon.
I sound terrible. What does that
joy
even mean?
in a lot of people's life. I mean, his social media presence brings you smiles. Literally, when you watch his content, he's just making you smile. And to share this moment, and while it doesn't look like a lot, jumping backwards like that
was
a fucking helicopter.
I'm not saying that was not
his
a lot.
family was like crying. Like,
that
he could have splat. Like, I held my breath. Did you hold your breath? Because I was holding my. All of us were like,
it like live. I watched his reaction to watching it.
No, that's a bit much. But
I watched him
that lessened the moment. But if you got a crowd of people around you and you really kind of like watched it, you know, especially from the beginning, it built you up and you were there with them and you just kind of felt like, go fucking Will. And then for him to have Alfonso host.
It was cute. It was cute. But it was like such a big thing.
Well, the only thing I didn't like is it seemed like it was going live at 3 and we're all working, right? Shit was an hour. So we had to go back to work real quick and then come back and watch it. So I thought he could have like maybe started it 30 minutes in.
Right. Well, I'm happy he made that through. That is a very
When
big
are we going
milestone.
skydiving?
I have to lose weight.
All right, let's do it.
I'm too fat to skydive.
We'll do it in Camarillo.
I tried a couple years ago. And I was a little bit too heavy then. I think it was my 30th birthday. And that's 4 years ago. I bet you know she's way too heavy now. But I'm on a new diet. I've been working out. This is day 3.
All right, couple years.
I need my week chip this weekend.
Blue dot. That's Weight Watchers language.
Okay.
I don't know what it means.
Whatever it says.
I don't know what it means.
Please tell me.
But yes, Will Smith. I mean, he can do no wrong in my eyes.
I mean, it's Will Smith. Ain't nobody arguing with you on that. It's fucking Will Smth.
We said we weren't going to talk about him every fucking episode.
This is like such a good thing.
I know, go.
Trump got laughed at by the whole UN. You know what? Laughing about this is like laughing at myself, though.
Oh.
Because he was like, America's the best and we're the top at everything. Like,
right, you are right.
And they were just like, nigga, no, you're not.
Right.
So
you're
that
right.
includes
We
me.
are, I guess, laughing at our fucking selves.
Laughing at ourselves.
Can everyone go vote, please?
Oh, God, November. Please, people.
Please.
It's not, National Registration Day was yesterday, the day before yesterday.
I know it's coming up as like an expiration date, right? Soon.
Yes, if you're not registered, please get registered.
And I don't even care if you're a procrastinator
just go to Google and
read
register to vote
the day before, but just make sure you don't vote without like looking at anything.
Yeah.
Don't guess.
Yeah, don't guess.
It's really bad when you do that. Is it better?
And
is it better not to vote or to guess?
Well, I mean, like I said, if you have a party affiliation, then you can always just do
all your
that
party
because you know you're going to have some type of confidence that even if you don't know this person, that their values align with yours. That's what the convenience of parties is. As detrimental I feel like they've been to the political system in America, they do make certain things just easier for the American people. Like, I'm pro, I don't know, cutting things financially, and I don't like abortion, and I'm not crazy about gays. I'm just gonna vote Republican. I don't know who these people are, but I hate gays, they hate gays, fuck it, I'm going. You see what I'm saying? Right, and then if you're just like, I'm all about recycling and
not
there should be
gays.
trans people should go to any bathroom they want to, then it's just like, I don't, just go for the guy in blue because he likes gays and I like gays, and you go on with your friends.
Okay.
So you know, I feel like that's what most people. I don't think, I'm not advocating for that at all.
But that's not a bad place to start.
Right. I agree.
I will tell you, I mean, I am definitely victim of like totally calling my mom the night before because I'm aligned with her in like what we think. And I'm like, Mom, tell me who to vote for and tell me why. Right. But just doing something to have some grasp on who you're voting for. Right.
I mean, but it does get more complicated when you have a number of Democrats all going for the same thing.
But then even those prompts, you think like you can read them there and make the choice there, but you don't know sometimes what they're really saying. Yeah. So those prompts too, I'm like, just at least the day before, look up some stuff on who's supporting it, what kind of groups are. If the NRA is supporting it, right, then you know which side you need to be on. Right. And I'll leave that to whichever side you want to be on. I feel like
these are all things that people with a lot more time and education are going to be prone to do.
Yeah, when you're working 10-hour days, you have 3 kids.
The average American is just like, I'm a Democrat, I'm voting for all the Democrats. Yeah. And usually, if there are a number of Democrats that I have to choose between, I'm going to do the one that most looks like me.
Well, you'd have to know what they look like, but yeah.
But don't they have little pictures there?
Do they? No.
No, they don't. Why do I think they were pictures? I got a thing from this party group I think I'm a part of. And with the pictures. It gave you pictures and the names.
I think they should, though.
If you're going to do this, do that.
You know what I think they should? I want to see how they motherfucking dress. I could tell by someone's fucking blazer.
I ended up if I'm voting go for Kamala Harris because
Kamala Harris, right?
I mean, A is Kamala Harris, and I'm just like, oh, I know what she looks like.
Does she have baby hair? Yes, voting for her.
Kamala Harris. That's his sister. So I think that's how I ended up voting for her. But I think the little card that I have from the people, she was on my cheat sheet too, and I was just like, woman and brown too. Kamala. Click. Bam.
Boom.
And luckily it just shook out for me because she's dope. But,
yeah, she is really good.
I'm trying to think. One of those Democrats I picked didn't shake out. That guy. He about to get voted out anyway. He just recently said some racist shit. What is his name? Fuck.
At this point.
Anyway.
How many of them?
Anyway, that was
not Kavanaugh, obviously.
Made a mistake. No. I'll think of it later. Okay. But either way, I remember I had voted for him, so I was just like, fuck.
Don't forget, and on our Instagram page, there's a resource that I forgot who put it together, and it's a database of all local, state, and federal Black politicians as well. And that's on our Instagram. Nice. Remember, I posted that a while ago. So you can go to that website, type in the city that you're in, and it will go down to even like council people and just every kind of so that's a great place to start too.
All things that we absolutely need to be on top of. Yeah, especially our like judges and your.
Don't even get me started.
your local elections are going to always affect you far more than your national elections. Right. So it's important to know who your council people are.
Yeah, exactly.
And your sheriff. And your judges and your superintendents and your comptroller. Like these are all the things that are going to
affect your daily life
on a daily basis far more than something federal. Because Trump can sign anything he wants, but then some states have, depending on what the bill is, a choice or an opportunity to choose to do that or not. Right. So, like I said, that may touch you, but you're definitely going to get touched by your local elections. So keep that in mind. Yeah. But Trump got laughed at by the world. But you know what was funny about it? Because he had mentioned that Obama was embarrassing America on the world stage,
to the
which
UN.
is hilarious. And then he goes to the UN and says all this stuff about America doing great in a number of ways, and they were laughing. And he was just like, oh, I didn't expect that reaction, but okay, like, you're an idiot. They're laughing at you, you dummy.
If you don't see everything crumbling around you because of you,
literally crumbling.
Narcissist.
Whatever. I'm moving right on along to what the fuck?
Oh no, you fucking lie.
I like the segment.
All right, I'm gonna start because yours is funny and mine is low-key tragic, I feel as if.
Well, yeah, tell me about this.
Okay, so there is a I don't know if they just do shoes or if it's a clothing company, but it's a designer called Golden Goose.
Golden Goose.
And they have this sneaker that they're selling that appears to be like a very old, worn out, raggedy sneaker with like tape around the toe area in an effort to like keep it together. So it's basically like a knockoff, like a homeless vagabond looking type shoe that was being sold at Nordstrom. Was it $500 or was it $900?
No,
I think it was like $560 or something like that, but hundreds of dollars. Now, last I checked, the product wasn't available, so I don't know if it's sold out or if they took it down after the controversy. I don't know, but no matter how terrible something might be, people are always going to buy it.
Well, if it's in Nordstrom's, come on.
So, like I said, I don't know if it was literally sold out or if they took it down because of the public outcry. But
what was the public saying?
It's super disrespectful. You're gonna sell me a $600 fucking shoe that is supposed to mimic the shoe of a homeless person?
I need to see this shoe. I am dying right now.
It's on our Facebook.
I know. Oh, I can't wait. I didn't get a chance today.
I
was working.
This was like the other day.
Oh my goodness.
See, this is what happens when we don't go on each other's platforms.
This is reality. This is real.
I manage
real
the
time.
Facebook.
We
Dev
don't have a
manages
script.
the Instagram, and neither of us really fucks with either of those platforms.
Well, it's just hard. It's hard to maintain social media. No.
Yeah, girl.
Go on our Facebook page if you have not, and please look at this freaking.
When did I post this?
Sneaker.
September 19th.
No.
Yep.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
It's really bad.
Why would you want to? I can't.
That's how my what the fuck was, because I laid eyes on this and I was like, the fuck is
what the fuck? Well, and it's nowhere near what I'm about to say is nowhere near that shoe, but it's like the Yeezy shirts that like are all super cut up.
With the holes.
It's like, why am I going to pay $500 to? And I get it. Like some shirts I've seen with a few holes, I can get the style. But I'm like thinking, like, pair that shirt with those shoes, and what are we doing in our society?
Right.
Like we're spending thousands of dollars to
look. If you have the
like
money
we have no
to
money.
pay for that, just to look like you have no money. It's
right.
Like
it's just so mind fucking.
Like a co-opting of poverty.
Right. Right.
And it's shitty. It's super shitty.
You have to see the shoe. Wow. Okay.
All right. You're up.
Well, my what the fuck, and you know I'm not going to be able to say her name.
Garcelle Beauvais.
Garcelle Beauvais. She was from the Jamie Foxx show. Okay, remember she did one movie. Go.
Tonight's the night.
And she always wore the like most inappropriate small. Go.
You know what to
she did it.
Do.
I know what to.
If you want me to. That was the song.
Remember she wore the most inappropriate work outfit. Like her skirt was so short,
on. It was like a blazer.
Anyways.
And then trying to act like she was
appropriate. Okay, so anyways, that lady, I don't know if you've seen it, but she posted a picture of her and fucking Will Smith kissing and writes or twitters him, here's a birthday kiss, Will. Happy birthday. And when I tell you, at first you look at the picture and you're like, where the fuck is this from? Because it's not some well-known
doing something together.
Wild West.
Oh, that's right.
I had to look it up.
That's right.
And that's what tells you don't post a picture like that because it's not like some mainstream movie that people love that are going to recognize that. That was super disrespectful to his wife. I'm sorry.
Did you see? I saw a meme where she had put it on Twitter, and then somebody was just like, "You need to take this down before Jada goes on
and
Twitter."
She responded that.
Bring it on or some shit.
She said Jada can bring it on, and I'm just like, they have kids that like are super media age. I cannot. Now compare that to Vivica's picture where she posted a picture of them together like side by side, and in the corner was their infamous Independence Day kiss. But it was like in no way disrespectful. You could just, I'm sorry, have common sense. Why is common sense not common?
Some people she wanted to be talked
about. I was
about.
really offended by it.
She knew what she was doing.
Right. That's my thing. Picture. It's just like, I don't know. I'm just someone who has like super like, I want to respect people's relationships. Like marriages mean something to people.
Right.
And
this is
for
Hollywood,
you to just aggressively do that.
It's Hollywood. You're talking from a real world, regular point of view.
But
people
clearly,
in the real world do shit like
I
this.
feel like she did it because she wanted it to be an issue, trend, and get some popularity.
Of course. She's probably auditioning for something right now. Having a little bit of media pop would do real well and then making that decision.
All right, well, maybe wrong. But anyways, I was like, when I scrolled in that picture, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, that's so inappropriate. Like, your so friend
stupid.
Sends you a picture of you kissing.
Warned her and she was like,
what the fuck?
Bring it on. I was like, whatever. I'll move right on.
Okay, I'm over it. But I'm not over it. Okay. But I'm over it.
Well, look, you madder than Jada from the sounds of it.
I'm what?
You madder than Jada.
Right, I feel like Jada's not even phased.
I know.
But we have your back, girl. Because woman to woman, we need to start having some fucking respect.
Does Jada think it have like a hive or a...
she has a hive. She has a hive A from knowing Tupac and being like the homie with Tupac.
Yes, but does
from
she
LA
have like a name? Like, you know, everybody has. Like Rihanna has like the Navy.
Well, she's doing that Red Room talk, so her name could be like, I don't know. We have to come up with it. No, she doesn't. Well, but if she did have a hive, they'd be buzzing because I'm buzzing.
Well, all right. Well, Dev has Jada's back, so that's that.
I have respect marriages. If he was single,
you're yelling at me like I don't respect marriages.
See how passionate I am. But if he was single, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just imagine someone doing that to you.
I can't. Because
posting a picture of your wife, like super kissing, and being like, "Hey,
I will punch Garcelle Beauvais in the throat," and she knows that, and we wouldn't even be having this.
And anyways, I liked her up to this moment, and I'm like, "You're desperate."
So. All right.
What? Oh, and she was the one that got super naked on Power, right? Not Power. On what show did she get butt naked on? And I was like, "Oh, she
got butt naked on a show."
Yes, and went at it with somebody. Was it Power? No,
I don't know.
Okay, well, I will bring this back to you, but
please don't.
She's just desperate in her career.
But this is what I'm saying. Let's end it.
Okay. Put a fork in it.
It's done. All right, Dad, what are you reading?
I finished the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and let me tell you.
2 months or?
Yeah, not too bad, right? Full-time job, podcast, and read a book. I mean, winning. I'm on to my second book. But,
sure.
I liked the book. And I've never had this happen to me in my whole existence of reading. But I hated how he ended it. Yeah. I hated the last 20 pages or 15 pages. It got super fucking weird. It got religious. Like, he brought God into it. And I did not see that coming.
Right.
And it didn't make sense. Like, it didn't even make sense to, like, the whole not giving a fuck. Like, I just hated the way he ended it. But anyways, I like the book otherwise. I value, like, the first, whatever many pages up until the last 20, but I'm literally like taking some things from that book and gonna move forward in my life with that. So I like the book, but hate the ending. So I finished it, and I am on to finding my next book that I want.
Finding Nemo. I'm not reading anything. I just don't want to.
Well, and you've been traveling.
I have been traveling, but I mean, I read my fan fiction and an endless number of news articles in a day, but I haven't picked up anything to read in a while. But I was just talking to the wife this week, and I was like, I need a new library card for here, because I still have one for North Hollywood, but I don't have one for here.
Come to the library with me. I was going to come to the library because I want to get a book out of the library.
To this library?
No, come to freaking Encino.
How am I getting to Encino?
I will come pick you up.
You want to come pick me up to take me to the library in Encino when there's 1-2 blocks that way?
Yes.
That makes no sense. Because
you
still got to bring me back.
No, I know, but you spend the afternoon and then you stop by a coffee
it's
shop.
Your gas and mileage. No, if you want to do that, please, I will be ready
I feel like I need to stay busy this weekend.
So long as it's after 1 p.m.
Saturday.
I don't care.
All
Absolutely.
Right. All right.
I love it.
Okay.
You like it.
I'm like dead serious, and I know you don't believe me.
It's fine. Come and get me, Dev. I don't do shit.
Okay.
Do you know me? Hello.
I'm so excited.
Nice to meet you. I'm CJ.
But again, you don't rush the library, right? Like, you have to browse and smell the
I'm looking for some specific books on business.
We should go to the downtown library. Have you been to the downtown one?
No.
Like the beautiful one, the huge beautiful one. We should do that because I was just thinking like Encino is not the greatest selection, and I'm guessing Glendale isn't either.
But I need a card.
It takes 2 seconds. You can get the card there.
Oh
yeah. Okay.
I don't know how
Anyways,
it works. Whatever.
We're gonna find books. We're gonna have books next
business
week.
Books.
Yeah.
And maybe some photography books. I don't know.
What are you watching?
Yo, I've finished Forever on Amazon Prime with Maya Rudolph and Frank Armisen.
Okay.
Fred Armisen, excuse me. Fred. That show
was really good.
It was good.
Dang. Well, Maya Rudolph is fantastic.
Maya Rudolph is good, but the show is pretty much about death.
Okay.
Like, no spoiler alert. Maybe I'll add a spoiler alert in 51 minutes, remind me. But the show is about death, but like still watch the show. I was like reading the comments.
Death or like
I'm just gonna say death.
All right. Is there humor?
It's humor. It's funny, like a dramedy.
A dramedy. Okay.
But that's the driving subject matter.
Okay.
But I was reading the comments as I do, and they were so polarized. It was like 50-50. Nah, like 60-40.
Okay.
Loved it.
Okay.
And hated it.
Huh.
There was no one who was just like,
it was okay.
It was okay if you... No. Everybody was just like, this is brilliant. Or people were like, this is fucking bullshit.
Interesting.
I can see both sides of who can feel like that. And I know the people who don't like it are religious. Like, I'm almost positive that all the people who were like, I hate this show, were probably Christians.
Interesting. Okay.
But it's good.
All right.
And it's funny. And it's like poignant. And it makes you think.
How many episodes is it? Like, how many episodes
like
was the
8
season?
or...
Okay, short season.
10?
Okay.
I want to say 8 though.
All right.
7 or 8. I'm also watching Bodyguard.
When I saw this, I was like, the movie?
No. It's a BBC 2 show.
About the movie?
Or BBC? No, there's nothing to do. It's
the
just
Bodyguard will always be Whitney Houston.
Right. It's not The Bodyguard. It's just Bodyguard.
You can't do that over here in America.
Yeah. At first I thought it maybe was like one of these like reboot shows or something, and I was like, wait, let me make sure. And then I found out what it was, and like, no, there's buzz around this show.
Okay.
Like people are talking in the streets. It's BBC One or two? I can't remember, but I think if you have the BBC America app, no, it wasn't up there. I have the BBC America app. I don't know how I'm seeing it is not relevant to this conversation. No. But a bitch is seeing it.
Okay.
And it's so good. So if you can see it, or if it somehow comes across your path, like, take the time.
Okay.
It's mad good. Insecure, of course.
Insecure. Did you like Amanda Seale's pregnancy pictures?
I love those pictures.
I know.
Those pictures are everything.
Like, if I had the chance to do that, I would not only do it, I would hang my own pictures in my own fucking house and love
ridiculous pictures too, because those pictures were ridiculous.
They were. I would do
my own ridiculous version.
Like, I hope Amanda gets to take those home, because who else is gonna keep them? Like, don't keep
those pictures will be on my wall quick, fast, in a hurry. But the last episode with Issa and Nathan, I was watching it like
hands covered.
It was like a horror movie. I was like,
ouch! This hurts.
I peeked through the whole thing. But it was good. So if you're not watching Insecure, get your life together. Get secure. Ballers, I love. The Rock, I'm telling you, that's like his best work. Ballers. I gotta watch this. That's his best work. Like, if you watch his movies and you're just like, ugh, The Rock, and then you're not watching anything else, like, you're doing yourself a disservice. Trust me, like, it's a much different Dwayne Johnson in Ballers than you're getting in fucking Jumanji.
Coming from you, I mean, you're not the easiest critic, so I
it's
believe
good.
you know?
It's good.
You're not like,
believable.
I like everything.
He's giving a good performance. He's playing an ex-football player, so you believe it when you're looking at him. Right. It just makes sense, and he just does a
role
good
of a lifetime
job. Some of it is funny, that he has very dramatic points.
He doesn't look too big on this little screen, on TV screen.
His partner is small as shit, but no. I mean, he's just a big dude.
I know he is. Sometimes, like, his characters don't match it. We're so used to
seeing him be so big.
Right.
He wears suits.
Right. They dress him where he doesn't like look like he's too small for his clothes.
A suit does make him look
more normal.
More normal size, but
yeah.
normal size. Yeah. It helps.
I just didn't know if he had the shirt that like cut it off where his bicep is hanging over.
No, he's not that type of guy. He's a very
like
a Miami dapper, brightly colored, but fully suited at all times type guy. Okay. So it does make him seem a little bit regular size.
Okay.
And Altered Carbon. I'm super late on this. I don't know why, but I'm just trying to wrap up these things. You know, I finally finished.
Look, I know why you're not reading.
Badlands because TV means a lot to me.
I know.
But I finally finished Into the Badlands. I think I mentioned. So I was like, let me get Altered Carbon out of here.
That's
I still gotta watch.
sci-fi.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still gotta watch Ozark. I still gotta watch Safe.
Ozark is not that great.
I've been hearing differently.
Well, maybe I'm just not in the mood or something, but it just feels like it is a slow-paced show.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm going to let you finish Altered Carbon, but Ozark is, I love the characters. I love the acting. It's just a little slow, and I guess I'm just kind of tired of, like, the white guy that accidentally got into, like, the mob life or the drug life. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to continue to give it a chance, but it's not like I've been loving it. That's my opinion.
We'll see. I might not love it either, but I gotta see. I was gonna mention something else.
Ozark. You said you haven't watched Ozark. You haven't watched
Safe with my man from Dexter. What am I forgetting? There was something I wanted to mention. Oh, the Mayans, the spinoff of the Sons of Anarchy.
Right. I'm not interested.
I started that.
Really?
Sons of Anarchy was the shit.
Of course it was. So I'm like,
so Mexican Sons of Anarchy?
No. So
yes.
No. This
Gracias.
is my thing. When has ever like a copy of something else that was so original content and so good ever good? It's never good.
I agree, and I'm not like a spinoff kind of person either.
Right, you're doing the exact same thing. It's like
but
the
you
shock
know what?
factor's
It's
not
so
there.
exact. It's like giving you more of what you want. It's not. It's really like.
No.
It's not different.
It should have came
like
out
the same.
closer to when Sons of Anarchy ended.
It was only 4 years ago.
I probably would have like been more emotionally tied to it. But no. I love Sons.
I feel like personally, the timing is personally. If they did it right after, I wouldn't have cared so much because I was just kind of like over it and it was too much.
And then are they going to do the Black Crew next? I mean,
I don't know, but I've heard rumors about a spinoff with the two sons, Abel and whatever.
See where I'm going with this.
And you know what? I still think it'll be good.
No, I think it'll be good. Every time I think I know you, I don't know you at all, CJ.
I think it'll be good.
Can I take a lifetime to get to know you?
I think it'll be good.
In 30 years, will I be able to tell what TV you like?
Let me explain.
Talk about you don't like reality TV.
Let me explain to you, and you'll understand
you like Abel and Cain's new show?
You will understand it once I explain it to you.
Okay, go ahead.
Kurt Sutter, who is the creator of Sons of Anarchy, really gave you a lot of show. There was a lot of story told, and there was a lot of like myth and lore and potential.
Love the use of lore.
So, because his father is dead, he didn't know what was true. Gemma was gaslighting him, etc., etc.
Right.
So there was still like parts of Jax's history that was like
untold.
Right. So in regard to the spinoff with the sons, because Jax was a very dichotomous person. He didn't want to be a part of that life, but he still felt very attached to that life.
He liked it.
So I feel like his sons are just going to be the two halves of his personality, but still living in the same world and just the embodiment of him. And they're always going to clash, but they're tied together by blood. So that's why I feel like that will be interesting because, like I said, it'll just be that.
You did a great pitch. I would let you write the show tomorrow if I was an executive because you almost sold me like, oh, this sounds interesting. But let me remind you, I'm not here for it. I'm just not. Sons of Anarchy, you don't touch greatness.
But here's the thing, like, I don't think they're touching it. I think they're just...
It's like when Gilmore Girls came back. It didn't... No, I loved it still,
but, see,
but it was never going to hit like the mark.
This is not.
I know
these people coming back.
I know.
Like if it was like still like the Sons of Anarchy, but it was just like, oh, let's see what.
I guess I don't know.
Jim Crow has been doing.
You know what it is?
Then I'll be like, I don't really care.
The Sons of Anarchy show, because the Mayans where they were positioned in the show, I just don't care about them, so I don't want to know.
But see, this thing, I do care about them. I was reading this listicle. I don't know if it was Nikki Swift or Got Mojo, whatever on YouTube, but. The dude, the Mayans Alvarez, he was in 30 of the 90 episodes. So the Mayans are really a big
they're partners. No, I know.
Of them. So I don't know. It's like
I'm just loving that
you know it's like it's almost like seeing the same story but from a different perspective.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We got like this white nationalist view. of this outlaw life, and now we're going to see what this outlaw life looks like from a Mexican standpoint. And if they did do the black one, I'd be here for the black one.
I would do it too, but they should have done it way back when.
You know what? I feel like it was been too close, because you don't want the same thing like too close and be like, we really have a lull in TV happening right now, it's coming at a good time.
I'm reading back for Stranger Things,
and it's like it's the same but different. Like I said, I feel like that's what makes it, and there's still like that adds, like there was so much story and behind and around.
I'm loving it.
Sons of Anarchy. And so now we can just get these other parts of the story.
Well, let me remind you, I did not watch Sons of Anarchy when it was out, so I got to binge watch like all 5 seasons.
Right.
So maybe in a couple years I will binge watch mine, but I'm definitely not watching it week to week.
I'm not watching it week to week either. I forgot that it even came out, and I saw like 3 or 4 in a row.
I'll take a jacket then. I'll take a little leather jacket.
Those vests, I love those vests. I'm about to join something just so I can have a leather vest. Okay. This show is super long. But we're playing catch up.
We missed it. We missed you guys, the listeners. We missed each other.
We'll be back to regular schedule.
Okay, fine.
Are we done watching stuff? Oh, okay.
Ha ha ha! Look, because I'm always watching like one thing. Because I get home so late, I only have time for like one show. But anyway, so I stumbled on The Simpsons, which obviously
she stumbled on The Simpsons.
I grew up watching The Simpsons with my 2 brothers.
She discovered it,
and I was like, "Oh, what do I want to watch?" And I was gonna like cook, which means I can't really see the TV, so I wanted to throw on something I didn't care. And I noticed they have from season 1 on demand, and so I was like, ooh. So anyways, I started watching The Simpsons, but I started watching from season 2 because season 1's just so old and the cartoon is so outdated. And then the second I put it on, it was like literally I remember every episode, and I was thinking of the age when it came out, and I was 9 years old when these episodes were out, and I literally remember them. So anyways, I'm on season 3. I don't know how far I will get, but I'm literally waking up in the morning and with a cup of coffee watching The Simpsons. And at night when I get home, I watch about 2-3 episodes, and that's what I'm watching. All right. The Simpsons. And I was kind of like Lisa. I was an attention seeker. So when I watch her, I'm like, golly.
You know, I wasn't allowed
Mom,
to
watch
watch
me.
it. I wasn't allowed to watch it as a kid, and then when I became an adult, I just had no desire to.
Unless you watch it as a kid, it's not going to be funny. Do you know what I mean? And I will say this, though. Thank God The Simpsons came out when they did, because they would not have been able to make half of the jokes now. Yeah. So it's kind of fun to watch TV at its like most fucked up, because, you know, the jokes, like, they really go for it. They, you know, make fun of it.
I need something to binge. I haven't had anything that I really wanted to binge in a minute. All right, listening to, I don't know, is this Six Black? Is that what his name is supposed to be?
You wrote it. I don't know. I
don't know if it's supposed to be Six Black or if it's just black and he just uses the 6 for the B. Yeah, I'm sounding super fucking old right now.
We are old.
Either way, he's a rapper. He had an album come out not too long ago. I want to say it's Six Black. Either way, he's dope, and he actually says words, and he actually says things with those words.
What's he talking about? Like, what's his thing? Is he a thug? Is he a go?
Black. My skin is so black.
Go.
I mean, that's one of his songs. So he's just.
Is he artsy? Like, what's his vibe? Or is he a thug? Where'd he come from?
A little Kendrick, a little Cole, a little gangster type situation.
Where's he from? Do you know?
No, I don't know.
Is it New York or Cali?
I don't know. I don't know anything about him.
Okay. I'm just
All I
curious.
know is he had an album coming out. I only know some of the singles, and I'm just like, let me see what this man is about.
Okay. Is it his debut album? And then that's my last question.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of any more questions you don't know.
No, I don't know anything about him. I just like his music.
You just like his music. How did you find his music? SoundCloud?
No. A commercial. It was in a show. Something.
Oh, he's a singer. He's not. Is he a singer or a rapper?
Singer.
Oh.
I don't know nothing about no singing.
He's from Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia.
Boom.
Okay, and best known for his single back in 2016. All right.
What song?
He's Problems, but not with the O. Problems with no O. That was released in June 2016, and he is currently signed to Love Renaissance and Interscope Records. Okay. All right, Six Black.
Anyway, what are you listening to?
Joe Budden's podcast.
Pump
it up. His podcast,
pump it up.
the longest one I've listened to was 2 hours and 48 minutes.
We're gonna do it like.
Can I tell you? I go into work, listen to one podcast, and I'm at lunch.
Today is a wrap.
Right. So I've been pretty much. I've been on podcasts since we started this one. And you realize I didn't listen to one podcast before this.
I didn't either, but I started and then I stopped.
Yeah, now I'm on Joe Budden's podcast, which I really love because it gets me a whole other ear to the streets that I don't have. It's very New York. I love the New Yorkness about it. His buddies are on it. Rory Maul. He calls up people. He has honest conversations. So it's just, who did he call the other day? Wale. Wale's super mad about the industry. But anyways, I like the podcast and I still listen to My Favorite Murder. I'm obsessed.
My Favorite Murder.
Yeah, it's these two comedian girls, show. And I'm looking into going to one of their live shows if they ever come back.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's just real fucked up, all the fucked up shit that happens and all the crime that happens. And do you understand there's so many crimes that take like 20, 30 years to solve? And then a lot of the times they let out the wrong person and put the stories never cease to amaze me. I'm sorry. So, and then some of the mistakes you make think of the mistakes you make at work, right? Like, seriously. Say you fuck up. Think about it. Think of your worst mistake, okay? Now, fucking be a detective in your 20s or 30s, and you make a mistake, and you put a 14-year-old kid away, try him as an adult within 2 days of an investigation, and you have to let him out 48 years later because you're fucking wrong, and the fucking country of Canada had to give him $6.5 million because you took his whole life away from him. And then when you go back, the obvious person who did it is so obvious when you go back and look at the actual evidence. Imagine that being your mistake. How do you live with that? How the fuck do you live with that?
You don't.
And by the way, that story is true and it happened in Canada. But the family of the victim, they never, like, the family members never told the parents because the parents believed it was that person and they didn't want them, like, right before dying because they were super old to, like, find out that, you know what I mean? Justice was not done for their, 11-year-old daughter or whatever. So anyways, the parents died thinking it was this person. The whole story is just tragic. So yeah, that's how I spend my days. That's how I spend my days.
You might need to listen to something a little more sunny.
But then I lighten it up with some Juicy Scoop by Heather McDonald or Amanda Seales and, all that other stuff.
I need to get caught up on Getting Grown.
I listen to them now still. No. Am I listening to the Reid or Getting Grown? No, the Reid.
Oh, I miss the Reid so much.
Do you know never mind. Yeah, I was gonna say, after listening to the Reid, I was like, we kind of sound like that.
That's why I had to stop listening.
I know, and you told me that. Now I get it.
You slow?
I am totally
let me
slow.
Stop because I don't want to be.
Don't listen to the Reid. Shit. You guys might like that better. No, I'm joking.
I mean, look, it's a better show. I suggest you absolutely listen to the Reid.
Whoa.
There's enough space in your earball holes for everyone.
Okay,
Mister.
I just think
Missy.
that. Okay,
it's a better show. I'm warming up to admit it. I miss fucking Kid Fury though.
Kid Fury?
Yeah, I miss him.
How about Kid Cudi? I don't know. It's the other kid I knew, Kid Rock.
Fuck Kid Rock. All right, that brings episode 9 of the comment section to a close.
Already?
It's been an hour and 10 minutes.
Yes, content, baby.
Okay. Well, it's Miss Reid, I suppose.
Yes, and it's Dev.
And we will see you when we see you.
Bye.